Every life that ever meant something was built the same way, not in moments of luck, not in sudden inspiration, not in overnight miracles. It was built by showing up when nothing was happening, when no one was watching, when the mind whispered excuses, when progress felt invisible. This is the part no one glamorizes. This is the part no one claps for. This is the part where most people disappear. And that is exactly why it works, because the world does not reward talent. It rewards presence. It does not crown intention. It crowns consistency. You don't rise because you are special. You rise because you stayed when others drifted. Every empire, every fortune, every unbreakable mind was forged the same way, by a person who showed up long before the world showed interest. Most people are waiting to feel ready. They are waiting to feel confident. They are waiting to feel motivated. But the truth is brutal and simple. Readiness follows repetition. Confidence follows action. Motivation follows momentum. You do not wake up powerful. You become powerful by returning to the work again and again until quitting feels foreign. I have watched men with extraordinary gifts destroy themselves because they would not show up on ordinary days. And I have watched men with nothing but discipline bend reality to their will. Talent opens doors. Habit builds kingdoms. The universe is always watching one thing, not your dreams, not your affirmations, not your speeches. It watches your behavior. It watches who shows up tired, who shows up unsure, who shows up after failure, who shows up when the reward is still silent. Because consistency is proof of belief, and belief, when acted upon daily, becomes law. Most people want intensity. They want breakthroughs. They want dramatic leaps. But life is not moved by intensity. It is moved by pressure applied steadily over time. A river does not carve stone because it is loud. It carves stone because it never leaves. That is the power you are building, not the power of force, but the power of inevitability. When you show up daily, something changes inside you first. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop arguing with excuses. You stop romanticizing rest you have not earned. Your identity shifts. You no longer ask, should I? You simply move. This is where discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like self-respect. Because every day you show up, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming, and those votes compound. 1 day of effort means nothing. 10 days mean little, but months shape character. Years shape destiny. The mind does not respond to words. It responds to patterns. Show up daily, and your mind begins to trust you. Break promises to yourself, and it learns to doubt you. Confidence is not loud. It is quiet certainty built from kept commitments. This is why most people live anxious lives. They have betrayed themselves too many times. They start things they do not finish. They promise change and delay action. They wait for the perfect moment that never arrives. And slowly, silently, self-belief erodes. But the one who shows up daily, even imperfectly, even clumsily, even afraid, that person rebuilds trust with themselves. And self-trust is the foundation of all power. History does not remember the most talented. It remembers the most relentless. Thomas Edison failed more times than most people attempt. Henry Ford was ridiculed before he was revered. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, businesses, and faith, yet he returned to duty again and again, not because they were fearless, but because they were faithful to the process. They understood something modern minds forget. Consistency outlives emotion. Motivation fades. Mood fluctuates, but habit remains. When you show up daily, you remove emotion from the equation. You no longer ask how you feel. You ask only what must be done. This is mastery. The world bends to those who become predictable in their effort. Unpredictable people hope. Predictable people win. And here is the secret most never realize. Showing up daily changes time itself. Progress hides, growth whispers, transformation moves silently, until one day, suddenly, the distance between who you were and who you are becomes undeniable, and everyone calls it luck. They say it happened fast. They say you came out of nowhere, but you know the truth. You remember the days nothing happened. You remember the nights you doubted. You remember the repetition that felt pointless. That is why the reward feels earned. Daily showing up does something else. It scares the universe into cooperation, because the universe responds to commitment. When you keep showing up, opportunities start aligning, people start noticing, doors begin to open, not because the world suddenly became kind, but because consistency signals seriousness. Life does not invest in dabblers, it partners with builders, and builders show up daily, even when results lag behind effort, even when silence follows action, even when doubt grows louder than progress, especially then, because that is the test. Most quit right before momentum turns visible, right before identity locks in, right before resistance breaks. But the one who stays, who shows up again, crosses a line most never reach. That line is where effort turns into inevitability. At that point, success is no longer a question of if, only when. Daily showing up removes drama from ambition. It replaces hope with certainty. It replaces chaos with order. You no longer chase outcomes. You build systems, and systems do not rely on feelings. They rely on execution. This is why great men appear calm. This is why masters move without rush. This is why the elite seem unbothered. They are not emotional about results. They are loyal to routine. They understand that showing up daily is a form of dominance. Dominance over distraction, dominance over impulse, dominance over the weaker version of themselves. Every day you show up, you win a private war no one sees, and those unseen victories stack, until one day the external world reflects the internal order you built. This is the law. You cannot cheat it. You cannot skip it. You cannot affirm your way around it. You must arrive daily, not loudly, not dramatically, but relentlessly, because greatness is not created in moments of inspiration. It is constructed in moments of discipline, and discipline is simply the decision to show up again. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for clarity. Stop waiting for permission. Show up confused. Show up tired. Show up imperfect. Just show up. Because every time you do, you become harder to stop. Every time you do, your future becomes more certain. Every time you do, the gap between who you are and who you could be narrows, until one day, there is no gap at all, only presence, only power, only the quiet confidence of someone who knows I will be here tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and that is why you will win, because the world eventually bows to those who refuse to disappear.